What's going on, my little Twisted Army? It's your boy Magic Pat. Got another Tackle Tuesday for you, so we're going to review a lure I've been using all year and have done pretty well with. It's Fish Labs BioShad. Hey, before we get to the review, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you like fishing content like this. Like the video so it'll let YouTube know that you appreciate what I do. And come join the Twisted Army, be a part of the community, and let's have fun. We're getting really close to being monetized, getting really close to this being a, permanent thing for me. We're almost full-time on here, and I need your help to do it. So please, join the community, subscribe to the channel, give me some likes, and let's get to the review. For y'all that have watched my channel from the beginning, you know that I like to do a lot of swim bait fishing. I just don't get to showcase it as much because it's harder to go out and make footage of catching fish on swim baits, because for y'all that do it also, you don't always catch a big fish on swim baits. A lot of times you get little fish or you get no fish. I went probably a year fishing big swim baits without catching anything over 3 pounds. I mean, it could just be crazy. I mean, you could be in the right spot, right situation, and just not find a big fish. But when you use a big swim bait, you have that opportunity for a large fish, and when it happens, it's almost magical. So one of the ones that I got sent this year by Fish Lab is the little BioShad, right? And you can see I actually got the actual threadfin shad color for it. I think it's the Tennessee shad. It's what it's called. Pretty sure anyway. But I haven't caught any big largemouth with it. Alright, so I can't really tell you how well it works for that. Although I have caught some largemouth. They just weren't really worth putting on video. But what I have caught is I have caught so many striped bass on this bad boy. And, hybrids, big hybrids. For the life of me, I could not keep this thing away from them this year. I could not get a shoal bass, a spotted bass, a largemouth. It's just all the waters I fish are just full of striped bass and hybrids, and they mauled this poor thing. This one right here, I actually is one that was not in the box. It's one I've been using. After a while, I did have to make like a repair because I caught so many fish on it. The pin started sliding out, which was no big deal. With jointed baits like this, that's always an issue, so that's something you might want to look out for. All I did was tap it back in and put a little bit of baking soda and super glue, and that little bar is never coming out again. So, but we're talking about, I don't even know how many fish I caught on this before that happened. And this is, I'm very abusive to my lures. This is banging it off of rocks, banging it off of, tree limbs and logs, and it has held up to that abuse all year. You can see it's got a little bit of scratching on the side, nothing major. The hook rash is starting to show on it. All of my swim bait users, after a while, that hook going back and forth will rash up a swim bait. So this is 2 ounces. It's a lighter swim bait. It's like a hard plastic, so I mean it holds up pretty good, but it will chip if you hit like a big stone, and I've actually got a few chips in it, but that doesn't keep it from catching good fish. Strong hooks on it. I'm not exactly sure about the hooks, but I've not had to replace them. They're really strong hooks. I actually use these in saltwater a little bit as well. Strong split ring. I've had no issue with that. And it's a slow sink. You can throw it out, and I want to say it to go about 8 foot deep. I had to count to about maybe 5 or 6, something like that. Don't quote me on that. So, but it's slow enough that even in my shallow, rocky areas that I fish, I never once had to worry about getting hung on the bottom. I gave it, a good count to like 3 to 4, and just slow roll it back. And these multi-jointed baits like this are just meant to either burn, or you can, run it and then stop, and it just does that almost snake motion. You just see like a and it stops. And that's how I catch most of my fish on it, to be honest with you. I did catch one nice hybrid this year, just slow rolling it, getting that nice little shad action near the surface, almost kind of like a wake bait, just barely underneath the water, create just a little bubble above it, and he smoked it. They come with a bunch of different colors. Because of my area, we have so many threadfin shad. I had to get a shad color like this. The only other thing that's going to work in our area is you could go bone or, pearl or white and maybe dye the tail chartreuse if you wanted to. But for the most part, I mean, they've got there's a good color I want to get for nighttime swim bait fishing is a black with like a silver gill plate. That's going to be money also. So I've fished this in pretty fast water too, so you can work it in fast or slow water. It holds up pretty good. I've not had any kind of blowout on it, other than if I try to do crazy little tricks with it, it might blow out. But this is actually one of your better, least expensive options. So I want to say they're less than $30 for one of these. This is a 6-inch model. They have multiple different sizes to them, and you can even get a crank down version that gets really small, gets them 4 inches, which actually matches the shad here perfectly. They're usually 3 to 5 inches. Every once in a while you get something this size, but I really like running the bigger one just for the hopes we get that magical or mythical 20-pound stripe in our area. We don't really get large stripes. Every once in a while a big guy comes through. Our river is known for more of the 5 to 13 pound range. That's the majority of the stripes and hybrids you're going to catch. So you're going to have a better shot at that big one though running the 6-inch swim bait. Like I said, I use this from my kayak, no problem whatsoever. I use them in salt water. They're not really meant for salt water, but they look so good. They almost mimic a mullet kind of look to them, that I run them in there too, and redfish will hit these. But yeah, the majority of the fish I've caught this year has been stripes and hybrids. I do know you will catch largemouth on these. I've caught some smaller ones, and spotted bass are like little demons. They'll chase anything down, so you can just about assume you're going to catch a spotted bass on this. Even though I didn't this year, it's because the stripes just wouldn't let them get to it. They beat them to it every time. That's really just about it. I really wanted to just take time to talk about it, to kind of give you an awareness that you don't have to go spend hundreds of dollars on a super niche swim bait all the time. Some of these lower cost swim baits like the Fish Lab BioShad are incredible lures and has done me pretty proud this year. I'm super happy with this thing. As a matter of fact, I'm so happy with it that I'm actually going to be getting probably about 10 more of these, because one problem, and it's not a problem with the lure, it's a problem with the fish that we have in our area, the huge long-nosed gar, because we get big long-nosed gar. Love these things. And I've already lost a couple to gar this year. Even with 30-pound mono, you hit their teeth just right, they snap it right off. And I had one, I slid up onto the rocks that grabbed one of these, and he broke off as I was trying to get the hooks out of his mouth and flopped back in with it. So you will have trouble with the gar chasing these. But if you're like me and you like catching gar, put a 60-pound leader on this bad boy and catch them too. So that, and they look so realistic that I've had Osprey try to steal these. You didn't even know they were there, and they'd come and dive down on it. So once again, that's not a problem with the lure. That's just the area we fish in. They look so good that these predatory birds try to steal these bad boys. If you like swim bait fishing and you want to use something lighter, hit the camera, sorry about that. But if you want to use something lighter that you don't have to use a huge or heavy dedicated swim bait setup with, get one of these things, man. 2 ounces, just about any bass rod can throw this. You can use a worm rod or like a heavier jig rod or something like that. We'll throw this no problem. You can throw it all day. You don't even have to have a big swim bait reel. At 2 ounces, take your regular bass reel, pop you some, at least I would use braid, but put you some 20, 30-pound braid on there, 30-pound mono leader, and just go to town. Catch you some fish. So anyway, that is my quick review. If you notice, we didn't do the review out here on the river like we normally do. I am sunburnt like crazy, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't want to get out there and full with it, so we're doing it right here in my office. But that doesn't make it any more or any less true than the stuff that you see. And you've seen, if you've watched to the end here, you know, I had clips of some of the catches that I've had. And so you know these things catch fish and they won't do you wrong. I still would like to give it a little bit longer. So I've been using them for about a year. Next year, I'm going to keep using it if I don't lose it. Like, I've lost so many to gar, it's hard to get a durability test out of these things. I like to usually give my lures, you know, a couple of years testing before I really tell you how tough they are. But if I keep them gar off of them, I'll let you know next year. But I plan on getting about 10 more of these bad boys in a bunch of different colors. So anyway, if you want to give it a try, get you some. I have the link down in my description for the video. You know, give me a like, subscribe, all that stuff help me grow. I appreciate it. And I'm going to catch you back out on the water. Peace.